Let us now do something called subject-verb agreement. Now what is this basically? The form of the verb that you use has to agree with the subject. That is called subject-verb agreement. I'll give you an example. I go, you go, we go, you go, they go, he, she or it goes. So basically, if you remember this chart that we discussed the previous day, your third person singular will always have, when your third person singular pronoun is followed by the verb will always attach an S after it to agree with this subject. For example, take the verb drink. I drink, we drink, you drink, they drink, but she drinks. So there is an S after the verb in case of every third person singular pronoun. Now coming to the verb have or has. Now the verb has or have. I have a book, we have the book, you have the book, you all have the book, they have the book, but he has, she has or it has the book. So basically here again you are just replacing the VE with an S to come into that rule where the verb takes an S after it in case of third person singular. Now coming to, I will just go through the be verb thing again for your revision. If you remember the other class I had talked about it. I am, we are, you are, you are, he, she or it is, and they are. These are the verb forms that agree with the subject to come together in a place. For example, I am going home, we are going home, you are going home, they are going home. However, it is going home or she is going home or he is going home. Now, you all can see the difference between the singular and the plural in the third person. Now, we often get confused, I'll just rub this portion off. We often get confused when there are too many nouns in the third person mentioned together. I'll give you an example. My mother and father. Your verb is own. A house in Delhi. Now, whether you will have own or owns. My mother and father own a house in Delhi, or my mother and father owns a house in Delhi. Now, you have to remember this. This is noun number 1. This is noun number 2. So, 1 plus 1 is 2. That is plural. So, obviously, your verb will not take an S here and it will simply be own. Remember, only singular, third person singular takes an S after the verb. Now, if your question would be either my mother or my father a house in Delhi. Now, it is either or, that is either mother or father, that is either this one or this one. So, whichever way it is, the result comes to 1, not 2, and that is why it takes owns. Why? Because this or this alone, that is in singular, will own the house in Delhi. That is, third person singular will take an S after the vowel own, after the verb own. So this was all about subject verb agreement. Likewise, I will again attach an activity for your practice and hope it helps you understand this.